Alright, so in the previous Caspian Portal video, I was talking about how underwhelming and how just underpowered the air vehicles are, namely the jets and the helicopters. And that made me a little sad, but hey, there are other amazing aspects of Caspian Border that I got to experience. Now I'm just gonna talk about the design of the map, how balanced it is, how everything works, spawns, etc., etc. So yeah, I guess I'll start with the bases. The main bases where both factions spawn are on the opposite ends of each other, which is great. One thing I don't understand, however, is why they didn't restrict the axis of the opposite teams and the bases. Like I was playing as Russians, and we had fucking US dudes coming around and fucking our shit up, and doing their own little, thing in our base, and I was like, what the fuck? Isn't this supposed to be a restricted zone where we can just chill out for a second? But nope, apparently not. I mean, I know what I saw. Like, I don't know if they're gonna fix that for later, or if they're just gonna like allow that to continue to happen, because that was pretty. I've always wondered if that's a good thing or a bad thing that the enemy can enter your spawn, because that kind of offers another dimension where you can actually, if there's like a dude that takes on the leader role for the whole damn team for 31 other dudes and says, gives a mission to one squad, hey, you dudes can protect our main spawn, so that they don't start stealing our vehicles and everything. But on the other hand, that's, I don't know, that's not really fun. Like, I don't think that there's a lot of people who want to just be chilling in a base and just be waiting for shit to happen. So, and I know what I saw. People fucking were in our base and fucking shit up. They were doing their, they were doing their little shenanigans, and we were there and just like, yo, and they were like, yo, you back, and we eventually threw them out. But like, I can't believe now somebody's calling, for fuck's sake. I can't believe that they can actually, like, the teams can enter each other's base. But oh well, maybe they'll fix it, or perhaps, I mean, there's really no reason to enter the opposing team's base other than stealing vehicles, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they'll enable some kind of restricted zone or something. But if they don't, I just hope that people don't, prone somewhere in the bushes and yeah. I mean, the ways you can abuse that is just ridiculous. So I hope that there's some kind of countermeasure against spawn camping and spawn raping and all that. I really do. As for the map itself, I mentioned that the C flag and the B flag were kind of close to each other, but then again, the B flag and the... what flag is it? The checkpoint flag. Is it not? It's not A, B, C, D. It's the D flag. The D flag and hilltop is... I mean, the checkpoint and the hilltop flags are also quite near. I mean, all the flags are in really close proximity to each other, but some flags are just a little closer to each other in comparison to others. Notably, the forest flag and the hilltop flag. They're just so close to each other. I mean, if you're holding both flags, you can just spawn on the closest and just... it's in walking distance. You can just walk and recapture it. I don't know if I really like that. I mean, the hilltop flag is... I mean, it's really close to the checkpoint flag, but you still have to kind of walk. Well, it's not far at all, but I don't know. It just feels like all the flags are really compacted together, like they're all very, very close to each other, which makes it kind of, I don't know, it negates a lot of teamwork, because there's nothing that really encourages certain squads to stay in the proximity of a certain flag so that they can quickly just, fall back and defend it if they notice that it's contested or anything. Now it's just like, since everything is so close, you can just kind of walk up to a flag that you've lost and just recapture it. Capturing flags, I mean, the time it takes to walk from one base to another, I don't know. I guess it's a good thing, but I mean, there's not much of a point of using, you know, jeeps, or well, there is. I mean, the walking distance from the gas station, flag A, to forest, flag C, for example. I mean, you know, you definitely use a jeep and save a lot of time and get to the C flag before the enemy manages to even neutralize it. But I don't know. I just wish that that the map was just, you know, not that, like, I don't want the map itself to be bigger, just the proximity of all the flags. I just wanted the dice to just increase the distance between them just a little bit, just so there's some kind of reason for people to, you know, use jeeps or use transport vehicles in general. I'm a guy who really loved flying the Blackhawks, the transport helicopters in Battlefield 2. So, you know, it'd be kind of awesome for me to be able to, you know, jump into a Blackhawk and just fly around, pick people up, drop people, and just do that entire game. I genuinely love doing that, just transporting people. It's really, but obviously the flying mechanics are a little dodgy. But maybe I just need to practice and get used to them. It's probably that. You know, you gotta give them. You gotta just, you know, withhold judgment until you've played the full game and just really experienced everything that the game has to offer before you can really, you know, judge it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the proximity isn't. The proximity isn't exactly a big deal or anything, but I just really miss the enormous travel distances that you had to go, that you had to walk or drive or whatever in the previous games. That's kind of non-existent in Caspian Border. It's still fairly large, and considering how much details they have in the map, I understand why. Maybe it's because it's a forest map. It's like a lush tropical, or not tropical, but, you know, just a lush forest map. Maybe the desert maps are going to be a lot bigger and have their bases be a lot further away from each other, because the map doesn't require as much work from our PCs and the engine to render it all at the same time. So maybe they can just, you know, increase the size and everything. We'll see. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for larger maps and just greater distances in between different flags, different bases. As for the bases themselves, they're all really varied and really interesting, and I thoroughly enjoy each and every one of them. They all have their kind of their own speciality, if that makes any sense. Like, both when it comes to defending and attacking, gas station is just oof. The gas station is just so has such an incredible emphasis on CQB that it's retarded. Just everything, there's so many buildings and farms and two-story buildings and you know, shelters, garages. The gas station, obviously, in and around gas station, which is flag A, that it really encourages people to, before they go and actually try to cap A, to really go and just scout the area, just explore, and just to see if there's any opponents there lurking in a shed somewhere, just waiting for the flag to be contested, and then they just pop out, you know, do a sweeping run, just clean up everything, and kill everyone there is, and just, you know, fall back. But As far as balanced, I feel like the map is, or rather the base. It's it's great. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of nukes in corners, and you know if you have like a tank with you, or if you're an engineer dude, or if you're a support guy with C4, you can blow up large chunks of walls, and you can down buildings, which can work in your favor or disfavor. I mean, obviously you're going to be eradicating a lot of cover, so that that kind of I mean, that's another aspect of strategy and tactics into the whole base. Pretty interesting. The C flag, which is the forest flag, is just that forest. It's really easy for people to just camp in a bush or camp in between trees on like a little boulder, and then they just hide there um, until they see that the flag is contested, and then they pop out and they shoot a rocket or something down at the people at sea. Or they could be, you know, hiding in the bushes on the same level as the people trying to capture C, because the way that C is designed is that it not only does it slope, but there's a lot of cliffs, or not cliffs, just big rock boulders. So there's big massive stone boulders surrounding C, which makes it kind of easy for people to either hide on the rocks or just stay hidden behind them. And as soon as they see that the C flag is contested, they can just pop out, you know, and just do a sweeping run and annihilate everything at sea, and then they can just fall back. So again, this kind of encourages people to, before you go and try to capture C, you gotta just check your surroundings just really fast. Just check and see if there's anybody there, if there's any enemies lurking. If there are, take them out, and take them out fast, because they can kill you so fast in the sea. Because you can't see, there's so much, you know, vegetation that you can't really see stuff that isn't moving. If something's moving, you can kind of, you know, distinguish it from everything else, unless you've got really poor eyesight, which if you do, my condolences, my sympathies. But you know, for all of us who've been playing COD, and I guess every FPS there is, I guess, but I just know from COD that if something moved, you shoot it. Because everything in I played a lot of COD 4, and if anything moved in COD 4, you shoot it, because everything was static. So you, as soon as you see something in your peripheral vision that something's moving there, you just, you know, like an aimbot, you just swiftly just aim down the side at him and just nuke him. It's kind of the same thing here. As long as something isn't moving, it's really hard to see. I mean, because the lighting, not only because of the vegetation, but because of the lighting as well, it's really hard to see people. They have those god rays, which really adds to the mood of the map. But I'm not sure, but I think that you know what, I'm not gonna say anything, but I think that the clouds are dynamic, because sometimes you know, it gets a little darker somewhere and a little lighter somewhere. As you know, as the clouds are passing by the sun, it kind of obscures some parts of the map. You know, it becomes a little darker because the light isn't as strong as where there isn't a cloud. You know, derp. And yeah, this is just another aspect of difficulty, where when it comes to trying to capture C. If people are hiding in between the vegetation, and because of the treetops, it's already really dark, so it becomes even easier for them to hide in the vegetation. So it feels like flashlight could probably help a lot there. I haven't tried that, like just, you know, walking around with a flashlight, just flashing all the all the bullets, all the bushes, and seeing if anybody's hiding there. But I don't know. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. I have to test that. Just try it out really fast to see if that works. Yeah, that's C. Then there's B just next to it. That's on kind of a little hilly thing. Yeah. I guess. Well, oh my God. I mean, B flag is called hilltop, so naturally it's on the top of a hill. Oh shit, silly me. No, but I mean, For me, it's like more like a mountain because it just kind of, you know, rises up